Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jamal Rossi, the Joan and Martin Messinger Dean of the Eastman School of Music, and it is my great pleasure to welcome all of you to the start of a new academic year. To start today's ceremony, I invite the Reverend Dr. Denise Yarborough, Director of Religious and Spiritual Life at the University of Rochester Interfaith Chapel, to offer a benediction.
Consider first these words of 20th century theologian and mystic Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel. Listening to great music is a shattering experience, throwing the soul into an encounter with an aspect of reality to which the mind can never relate itself adequately. Such experiences undermine conceit and complacency and may even induce a sense of contrition and a readiness for repentance. I am neither a musician nor an expert on music, but the shattering experience of music has been a challenge to my thinking on ultimate issues. I spend my life working with thoughts, and one problem that gives me no rest is this: do these thoughts ever rise to the heights reached by authentic music? Let us pray. O eternal God, lover of beauty, creator of sound and song, be ever present with the teachers and students at the Eastman School of Music who seek through their music to shatter human experience and throw souls into an encounter with reality beyond the mind's grasp. Grant to them through their music glimpses of your beauty and divine creativity. Bless the Eastman School of Music at the University of Rochester, that it may be a lively center for sound learning, new discovery, and the pursuit of wisdom. And grant that those who teach and those who learn may find you to be the source of all truth and beauty. We offer this prayer and thanksgiving for your gracious creativity and generosity as you endow those who teach and study here with the precious gift of music and song, through which they offer to the world hurting now, especially with the pandemic, an exquisite experience of the holy and the sacred. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Yarborough. I have to admit, this might be one of the more surreal experiences of my life. I'm here welcoming all of you as I look out into this beautiful yet completely empty hall. I'm here with other colleagues, and we are all wearing masks. There is no doubt this is going to be an academic year unlike any we have experienced before. The word convocation literally means the action of calling people together. While we may not be here in one room together, it's my hope that this convocation will help us bring together our community once again after having been apart from each other for nearly 6 months. It is with real excitement and enthusiasm that I welcome our new students and faculty into the Eastman community. We are so looking forward to getting to know you and to benefiting from all that you will contribute to our school in the coming years. It's now my pleasure to invite to the podium Dr. Donna Brink-Fox, the Eisenhart Professor of Music Education and Eastman's Senior Associate Dean of Academic and Student Affairs. Before doing so, I want to say a word about the semester we are entering. As you know, many of you have returned to Rochester, where you will study some of your courses in person and some of them online. Others of you have chosen to study completely online, and there is a third group of students who are studying online for now, but who are working mightily to try to get back to Rochester this semester. The ability for us to provide multiple options for our students to study has required months of careful planning, decision-making, and hard work. Donna Fox led this effort on behalf of Eastman, and it is largely through her dedication and leadership that we are able to resume this semester safely and in a manner where we can advance the mission of our school. Were you here in Kilburn Hall right now, I would ask all of you to join me in a rousing round of applause for Dr. Fox. But you're not. So those of us who are here simply need to use our imagination and hear your cheers as Dr. Fox comes to the podium to introduce our new faculty members.
Thank you, Dean Rossi. It's my pleasure to be here to conduct one of the routine activities of our convocation, and that is to share with you information about our new faculty members joining this fall. First, I'd like to tell you about Ben Baker, who has been appointed Assistant Professor of Music Theory. Professor Baker's research focuses primarily on cross-pollinations between jazz and popular music, with a broader interest in forging links between models of musical structure and interpretive issues related to intertextuality, improvisation, agency, and affordance. He has presented this work at various national and regional conferences, and his recent paper on harmony in the music of jazz pianist Robert Glasper received the Patricia Carpenter Emerging Scholar Award in 2019. His publications appear in Music Theory Online, Theory and Practice, and the Eastman Case Studies series. A second new faculty member is actually a returning faculty member for us, Christina Becker, Assistant Professor of German. Tina teaches German in the Humanities Department at the Eastman School. She received her master's degree in education and American studies at the Free University and Humboldt University, Berlin. And she taught for several years in the Berlin school system before coming to America. She also taught beginning, intermediate, and advanced German language courses at the University of Rochester for the past 10 years. Tina directed the German in Germany Berlin program in 2019 and is the co-author of the translation of Goethe's play Stella, a play for lovers. Our third new faculty member is Nicole Cabell, who earned a Bachelor of Music degree from Eastman in 2001. She returns to the school with an appointment as Assistant Professor of Voice. Named 2005 BBC Cardiff Singer of the World, Ms. Cabell's ensuing career has taken her to the most important opera stages and concert halls in the world, including the Royal Opera House, Covent Garden, the Metropolitan Opera, Lyric Opera of Chicago, Deutsche Oper Berlin, Teatro Colón Buenos Aires, and many more. As a concert soloist and recitalist, she has sung throughout the United States, Europe, and Canada. Her recordings include Soprano, an opera recital disc debut for Decca, and Silver Rain, songs of Ricky Ian Gordon. Violinist Yoojin Jang has been appointed Assistant Professor of Violin. Jang is a winner of the 2017 Concert Artists Guild Competition and first prize winner of the 2016 Sendai International Music Competition in Japan. Recognized for her creative work in chamber music, she won the 2011 Borromeo String Quartet Guest Artist Award, and in 2009, the Schloss Weikersheim Scholarship of the London String Quartet Competition. Yoojin Jang holds a Bachelor of Music degree from the Korea National University of Arts and a Master of Music degree from New England Conservatory, where she is pursuing a Doctor of Musical Arts. Our fifth new faculty member is Sarah Marlowe, who comes to Eastman from New York University, where she was an assistant professor and received the NYU Steinhardt Teaching Excellence Award. She holds degrees in piano performance and music theory from the University of Massachusetts Amherst and in music theory from Eastman. Sarah's research centers on fugue and counterpoint, Russian music theory, the music of J.S. Bach and Dmitri Shostakovich, and music theory and oral skills pedagogy. While studying at Eastman, both Ben Baker and Sarah Marlowe received the Teaching Assistant Prize from Eastman and the university's Edward Peck Curtis Award for Excellence in Teaching by a graduate student. And our final new faculty member is Joseph Rackers, appointed as Professor of Piano. Professor Rackers earned the Doctor of Musical Arts and Master of Music degrees from the Eastman School of Music and was awarded the Performer's Certificate. His principal teacher at Eastman was Natalia Antonova. Before joining our faculty, Dr. Rackers was professor of piano and coordinator of the piano department at the University of South Carolina School of Music, where he taught an international class of pianists and served as co-director of the Southeastern Piano Festival. He is an international Steinway artist and serves on the artist faculty of multiple festivals in Italy, Spain, Texas, and South Carolina. Active as a chamber musician, Dr. Rackers has performed widely as a member of the Lamazov-Rackers piano duo. In addition to sharing with you these new faculty members, it's my pleasure to introduce the winner, the recipient of the Eisenhardt Award for Teaching Excellence, which is typically given in the spring semester at commencement. It's a highlight of our Eastman School commencement to give this award, and we are honoring the so-called best teacher at Eastman, but that would be manifestly impossible. Instead, we identify a full-time faculty member who is not only an unusually effective teacher, but who has also contributed significantly as a performer, composer, or teacher to the education of his or her students. This year's Eisenhardt Award recipient joined the Eastman School faculty in 2002 after receiving degrees from the University of Akron, the University of Michigan, and in 1989, a degree from Eastman. Among his duties here in the past 2 decades has been the directorship of one of our school's beloved flagship ensembles, the Eastman Wind Ensemble, whose reputation he has maintained and enhanced. In this position, this teacher has shown that musical gifts can be matched by tremendous gifts for teaching and communicating. Nominations for the Eisenhardt Award for Excellence in Teaching must come in the form of substantive letters from students and faculty members, detailing the reasons why a faculty member ought to be considered for this award. We have many eloquent letters in support of this faculty member from current students, alumni, and fellow faculty members. They all boil down to the fact that this year's recipient is an uncommonly intelligent, effective, and generous teacher. Here are a few excerpts from those letters from a recent graduate. This was an eye-opening and intense experience that took my ensemble playing and standard of professionalism to the next level. At every rehearsal, we were challenged to be hyper-aware of the ensemble, to truly listen to our colleagues, and to always play with beautiful sound. Under this teacher's direction, I learned not only about music ensemble skills and professionalism, but also how to be a good person as a member of the music industry. This professor teaches all of us how to maintain a high standard while reminding us to achieve artistic quality and treat ourselves and each other with respect. Our Eisenhardt Award recipient is also praised by his colleagues who say he cherishes his responsibilities, demands high standards from his players, and backs up his expectations with remarkably consistent dedication. He goes above and beyond for students and faculty colleagues, attending student and faculty recitals, writing countless letters of recommendations for students, providing listening sessions for students who are auditioning, serving for over 15 years as chair of his department, and providing students with intimate chamber winds experience. Another faculty member said, "I know my students do their best as a result of having such a professional role model, and through his unyielding quest to create more professional opportunities for players outside of the curriculum. These projects demand massive effort and have enriched so many students." A popular bit of advice this teacher's students will receive at some point during their Eastman career is this: to make it in this business, you need to do 2 things: be prepared and treat people right. It is with great pleasure that I congratulate the faculty recipient of the 2019-2020 Eisenhardt Award for Excellence in Teaching and thank him for his contributions to artistry, scholarship, leadership, and community at the Eastman School. I'd like to introduce Professor of Conducting and Ensembles and Director of the Eastman Wind Orchestra and Eastman Wind Ensemble, Mark Davis Scatterday.
Thank you, Dean Fox, and Dean Rossi. It's great to be back in Kilburn Hall, and I look forward to many future times that we will be together again in performance on this stage, in Kodak and Hatch. After many months away from each other, I will look forward to a joyous reunion. It is an honor to be selected as the 2020 recipient of the Eisenhart Award for Excellence of Teaching. When I look at the list of past recipients, I am truly humbled to be mentioned with such distinguished educators, including 6 of my former professors. I am fortunate to have had many great teachers and mentors in my life, perhaps the most influential being my father, who taught mathematics for over 45 years. I'm grateful to all of them, as well as my terrific colleagues and students, for the passion they've inspired in my 37-year career combining teaching, performance, and some pretty terrific life lessons. It has been, and always will be, the highest privilege to be a teacher. Please accept my deepest gratitude for this wonderful distinction. One thing that I would like to share with you today, just embarking into this crazy, wonderful business of music, is how to cope with your anxiety about your future. Honestly, to be successful in an artistic career, you should really set your sights on being in the top 10% of your field in the music world. Don't be satisfied with being the best trombonist in the school. Be the best musician at Eastman. If you're the best musician at Eastman, that's a really good start to your career. This is a lofty goal and can be very stressful as you navigate your way through your next few years, but you can turn that anxiety and stress into something positive. You have a very good chance to be, if you can turn that into something positive, you have a very good chance to be successful and happy in so many ways. What I miss the most from my early days as a young musician, especially here at Eastman, is simply not knowing. I miss it. Not knowing what my career would look like, how successful would I be, will I be happy, and other things like how my family life would turn out and where I would live. This sounds strange, but I miss not knowing about what my achievements would be in music and in my life. 40 years ago, I knew I had something special to offer the music world, but I wasn't quite sure that what my place was going to be as a top professional. Don't get me wrong, I'm very happy with my career right now, but if somebody would have just told me back then not to worry about this and trust my talent, work really hard, and treat people well, it would have been so less complicated and nerve-wracking. Do those things, and your life and your art will take care of itself in a beautiful way. As all musicians know, we are better together in every way. These are extremely adverse times, and just like in our performances and studies, adversities can be great learnable moments that can lead to discovery, understanding, and appreciation. The difficulties we overcome now and in the future will shape the way we see our world, and in turn, make the world a better place. As future musical leaders of the world, it is both your privilege and your responsibility to inspire our society to feel emotion, think creatively, and cope with adversity. You will be the next captains in this journey because you are actually experiencing something that is universally challenging now, instead of just learning about such global problems from a book or hearing about it secondhand. You're experiencing it right now. How you and your music colleagues will deal with this current dilemma will shape our society for years to come. It is obvious in the past few months how much the world has turned to music as a way to heal. Take this challenging situation and make your music into something good for everyone. What a great opportunity for us to help the world cope now, heal tomorrow, and be happy in the future. You have a new calling now as an artistic citizen. Help change the world to be a better place. Go out and inspire the world with your talents, your skills, and your kindness. Melior.
Thank you, Dr. Scatterday. Really inspiring words. Thank you, Dr. Fox. Before moving on to my remarks, I want to recognize two additional faculty members. Over the past few years, Eastman has been tremendously fortunate to have received remarkable gifts from generous donors to our school. One way of recognizing these gifts has been to name and endow faculty chairs. As we begin this new academic year, I am so pleased to acknowledge two faculty members who have been appointed to new endowed chairs. Professors Richard Kilmer and Renee Jollies have been appointed as Wegman Family Professors, thanks to the generosity of U of R Board of Trustee member Danny Wegman and his family. Thank you, Danny, for your ongoing commitment to our university, and congratulations to Professors Kilmer and Jollies. So as I stated at the outset of the ceremony, this semester and year is going to be unlike anything any of us has experienced previously. I find this reality simultaneously exhilarating and scary. However, given the situation that has been thrust upon us by COVID-19, I believe we have a rare opportunity. As opposed to doing things the way we've always done them, we've been given the freedom to explore, to think differently, and to learn new things about music, about teaching and learning, about making and sharing music, and about ourselves. To me, this is an opportunity worth embracing. This doesn't mean that everything is going to be easy or fun. In fact, I think it's going to be very challenging. Every single day, we are being faced with new hurdles. Guidelines around music making change as new information is discovered. Rules regarding things like who is to be quarantined seem to change daily. Some plans that we put in place weeks ago need to be changed in a moment's notice because of factors out of our control. Friends, quite simply, we can choose to complain about these things, or we can accept them as the reality we are living in right now, and we can choose to make the best of these things. Author M. Scott Peck wrote, "Life is full of problems. We can moan about them, or we can solve them." I want to encourage every member of our community to challenge yourselves to turn these situations into positives. I know that might sound Pollyannish, but I am completely serious when I say that the attitude we choose to adopt when facing challenges, no matter how big or small, will make the difference between success and failure and between happiness and frustration. For example, on Friday of last week, all of us were going to be speaking today without masks. On Saturday, that changed, whereby we are all wearing masks as we stand at the microphone. Am I excited about delivering an address with a mask on? Besides the fact I like to think I feel a little bit like Dr. Fauci? No, I'm not. But am I willing to do this for the good of our community? You bet. So for me, I'm taking this as a personal challenge. What can I learn from this? How can I turn this into a positive? This mask is forcing me to have to articulate everything with greater clarity. And if you cannot see the expression on my face to help me communicate my message, then I have to be that much more convincing with my words. I'm reading a fascinating autobiography right now titled On the Road Less Traveled by Ed Hajim, the former chairperson of the University of Rochester Board of Trustees. Ed started his life in orphanages and foster care. He had nothing of material value. A few years ago, he made the largest single donation in the history of the University of Rochester, $30 million. Mr. Hajim wrote, "Adversity is a gift. If you don't experience it, you'll never know how to overcome it." Friends, we may face some adversities this coming year, but we can overcome them by working together. We will do this because we have an incredible gift right now, the ability to make music together and to once again have one-on-one lessons with our artist faculty. At a time when many universities have made the decision to have online instruction only, I believe we are tremendously fortunate to have this opportunity to study and make music in person. This is what we heard from our students at the conclusion of last semester, that the thing you most desired was the opportunity to make music with each other, in person. Sustaining this effort is going to require commitment, and it will require that each of us own up to our responsibilities. We all have a responsibility to keep our entire community safe and healthy. By now, we all know what to do. Wearing masks at all times when around others, keeping at least 6 feet distance between each other, and washing your hands frequently and thoroughly. All of the medical experts with whom I've been consulting assure us that these things are the keys to keeping COVID-19 at bay. Now, here are some specific things that I want to encourage you to embrace. To our faculty, there's a sentence that has been banging around in my head for the last few weeks that I want you to think about. Our university faculty handbook states, "The first threshold on the path to tenure is excellence in teaching." If ever we need to commit fully to teaching excellence, it is now. Many of our students and their families have gone to incredible lengths to get back to school. I met a father last week who took his 2-week vacation to drive his student halfway across the country to Rochester so that he, his wife, and student would quarantine together in a hotel. That's sacrifice. Many of our international students are trying desperately to get back to Rochester as soon as they can. And many other students have made the very difficult decision to stay home, but to study completely online. We owe it to our students to give everything we have to making this unusual teaching situation work to the very, very highest degree possible. Teaching excellence is the standard we must uphold. To our staff, who have worked incredibly long hours throughout the summer to prepare for this semester, our commitment to upholding and supporting the teaching and learning enterprise of our school must remain absolutely steadfast. I know how hard you have all worked to get us to this point, but the really hard work may just be beginning, sustaining our efforts in the weeks and months ahead. And to our students, you have 2 primary responsibilities. First is to invest yourself and all of yourself into your learning. Please make every effort to not complain about what's not. For instance, I'm so disappointed that we won't have full orchestra this semester. But instead, embrace what is. For instance, I'm so excited to play in this octet where I'm going to get more individual attention from my ensemble director. And second, you know as well as I why several universities were forced to go online within the last week. Large social gatherings where students were unmasked and didn't respect social distancing. Friends, if you choose to engage in this kind of behavior, our ability to retain in-person lessons, chamber music, and ensembles will be greatly threatened. For the sake of your classmates, for the sake of all who are trying their hardest to retain in-person music experiences, please make good choices. Okay, so let me leave you with one last thought. In a, quote, normal semester, we would focus our efforts on learning ever more about music. We would concentrate on improving performance skills, on learning more about the structures and history of music, on expanding our thinking, and on sharing our music publicly. We also talk about extra musical skills that are needed as professional musicians. Things like creativity, adaptability, and flexibility. Friends, we should have plenty of opportunities to practice these extra musical skills in spades this year. Hopefully, we will all develop lifelong skills that will serve us long beyond this academic year. To all of you, I extend my very best wishes that this upcoming year will be meaningful and enjoyable. Personally, I am excited by the opportunities ahead of us, and I am so glad that we're going to be embarking on this adventure together. Meliora. So my mask keeps sliding down. I think one of the things I've heard about masks is you're not supposed to touch them, but I'm going to try and keep it in place here. Before I introduce this afternoon's performers, I want to acknowledge one more person. I mentioned earlier that Dr. Fox led our efforts to reopen our school this semester. But her right, and maybe her left hand in this work, was Dr. John Hain, our Associate Dean for Academic and International Affairs. Dr. Hain has been tireless over the past many months, and we are indebted to him for his tremendous efforts. He is also the person who coordinated our first ever virtual convocation. John, on behalf of our entire community, please accept our sincere thanks. Okay, whether we are in person or online, the highlight of our annual convocation celebration is the music provided by the newest members of our faculty. This year's performance is especially meaningful because of the fact that no music has been performed in this hall since last March. Following a very short pause as the stage is cleared of these chairs and the podium, please welcome and enjoy our newest artist faculty members. Pianist Joseph Reckers will perform the Prelude and Fugue in E major by Johann Sebastian Bach. Violinist Yoojin Jang and pianist Chiao-Wen Cheng will perform the fourth movement of Stravinsky's Divertimento for violin and piano. And we will close with Nicole Cabell and Joseph Reckers performing 3 songs. Songs My Mother Taught Me from Dvorak's Gypsy Songs, Del Cabello Mas Sutil by Fernando Obrador, and finally the traditional African-American spiritual, Oh, What a Beautiful City. Thank you very much.
Israel.